The latest issue of O Magazine has a long article about loneliness and how it's become a national epidemic. It seems that more than ever, our interconnectedness in many ways has led to our disconnectedness in more important ways. The article points out that there are many reasons for this epidemic. Among them, we value attachment or achievement over attachment. We are living in technology bubbles. With our phones in front of us, we don't join organizations anymore. And there were several others. But the latest numbers say that 1 in 5 Americans say they rarely or never feel close to people. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about some things that we can do to combat loneliness and feel more connected to our fellow human beings. Hi, I'm Stephanie Phillips-Markstein, and I help health-conscious people optimize their physical and emotional well-being so that they can show up in the world as the best and most confident version of themselves. So number 1, accept that loneliness is normal. Just knowing that others around the globe are experiencing the same feelings of loneliness as you are can be helpful. So 40% of people will experience loneliness at some point in time. And that number, seems high. After all, the internet and social networking makes it easier than ever to connect. But as I said, loneliness is subjective, and it's possible to feel lonely even when you have a significant other or children or even lots of friends. So if you're looking for an answer on how to cure loneliness in your life, just realize that there are millions of others feeling the same way. And this normal emotion is one that almost everyone experiences at some point, and it's something that you can overcome. So number 2, recognize the effects of loneliness so you can combat them. Loneliness can actually be felt physically. Studies show that being lonely can make you feel colder than those around you. It can increase cholesterol and blood pressure, and it can even stop your immune system from functioning properly. Loneliness can also disrupt your sleep because it puts your body on high alert, so it can make you more prone to sleep problems. Insomnia and lack of true rest can both be a result of loneliness. It also can lead to self-destructive habits. Drug abuse, gambling habits, and other self-destructive actions have all been linked to loneliness. So finding cure for loneliness can help prevent these habits from developing in the first place. Last, loneliness can affect your mental health, and as it increases, so does depression. In fact, one of the main signs of depression is no longer wanting to do things you used to enjoy, including spending time with your friends. So if you think that your feelings of loneliness may be a small part of a bigger problem, you might consider seeking help from someone who specializes in treating loneliness. Which brings me to number 3, which is to seek professional help. Meeting with a mental health professional is one of the most helpful steps that you can take if you are trying to overcome any issue, but in this instance, loneliness. A therapist can help you explore the factors behind those feelings and other issues surrounding your loneliness, such as insomnia, can be addressed as well. For example, if you've recently lost a family member or a close friend, you may be experiencing both loneliness and grief. And so having an experienced professional to support you through that healing process can really make a huge difference. Number 4, nurture existing relationships. Loneliness can make us pull away from our existing relationships, and even when we desire them the most. So by nurturing the relationships you already have, you can put yourself on a path to overcoming loneliness. When the people that you once loved or connected with feel distant, it can be hard to take the first step towards fortifying those bonds. So here are some ideas for connecting again, reconnecting those bonds. Number 1, schedule time each day or week to call or visit a friend. 2, invite someone out for lunch. 3, start up conversations with neighbors when you can. 4, use social media to reconnect with those that you've lost touch with due to time or maybe even distance. And 5, join a club or group with interests that you share. Back to our list of tips that you can do to combat loneliness. Number 5, practice positive self-talk. And you might be wondering, like, what getting rid of negative self-talk has to do with loneliness, but the two often go hand in hand. When you're feeling lonely and you start to think something like, ugh, I hate my life, no one wants to spend time with me, you're adding to your loneliness, and now you're not only missing social connections, but you're taking a beating to your self-esteem. So make an effort, and we've done talks about this before, but make an effort to catch those thoughts and replace them with a positive message instead. The process of positive self-talk takes practice, but it can be part of a simple cure for loneliness. Number 6, find a hobby. Boredom adds weight to loneliness, and if you're already struggling with feelings of loneliness or social isolation, the cure isn't watching Netflix by yourself every night, even though that might be fun. Instead, you want to try to find something to occupy your time. Make sure that what you choose has some social aspect to it, as opposed to Netflix. So taking pictures in the park and joining a gardening group through Meetup are both good options. Doing a jigsaw puzzle alone in your apartment, not so much. Take some time to explore hobby options and then get out there. And the getting out there part is usually the hardest. But hobbies that you do by yourself, yes, they can still be fun, but try to get yourself out more socially. You might love watching movies or playing video games alone, but sometimes, this isn't going to be the right answer. Do your best to pick out some fun new hobbies that will place you in social situations. Even if it's a knitting class, you're going to be with other people, but it could wind up being the push that you need to improve your social life, and it can be a cue for loneliness as well. And lastly, number 7, find volunteer opportunities. One way to combat loneliness is to put yourself in places where you can meet new people. And that's why people go to places like bars and clubs, right? But sometimes just going to public places doesn't do the trick, especially for people whose loneliness is worsened by issues like shyness or social anxiety. But with volunteering, you're not only putting yourself in a place where you can meet people, but you'll also be focused on a task. This can help prevent feelings of awkwardness that might arise if you don't have a particular purpose, like going to a club or to a bar. It can also give you something to look forward to if you're struggling to find meaning in your life. Another great thing about volunteering is that the people that you meet are likely going to share your interests. So, for example, if you love animals, you might consider volunteering at the Chester County SPCA or your local shelter. This is a place where you're sure to meet other dog or cat people that you can connect with. It'll be much easier to connect with others if you are doing things that they are also wanting to do. If you're not sure where to start, you can ask around locally or use an online platform like Create the Good or Volunteer Match. I hope this has been helpful. Please join me on Facebook for Saturdays with Stephanie at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we will continue talking about this subject and others that will hopefully be valuable in your life. So I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.